rolling down Imperial Highway. The big nasty red at my side. Santa Ana winds blowing hot from the north. We were born to ride. Roll down the window, put down the top, crank up the Beach Boys, baby. Don't let the music stop. We gonna ride it till we just can't ride it no more.
Okay, if you honestly thought that with the news today that I was not going to start the show with that song, think again. Welcome, people. This is Variety Bites. I am Sean Williams. As you can tell by that song, I got a lot to talk about, and the biggest news actually came about today. Despite Paul George saying how he wanted to be a Laker, deciding that he was just going to stay put in OKC. Yeah, that doesn't matter. You know why? Because we didn't get Paul George, but we got the guy who actually has won rings. We got the King. That's right, LeBron James, King James himself, is coming to LA, signing a 4-year deal with the Lakers for $154 million. And I don't think I've been this excited for the Lakers since Shaq came to LA. I mean, that is just monumental. I mean, we just signed the arguably one of, if not the best player of this modern era for the NBA. It's at the risk of not going into one of those Michael Jordan, LeBron James comparisons, because personally I've never been a fan of those and never participated in those. This is the equivalent of if Jordan left Chicago and came to the Lakers. That's what this would feel like. I mean, even just with LeBron alone, the Lakers make the playoffs for sure. I'm not saying that they're going to go all the way to the finals and win the whole thing. I'm just saying that with LeBron alone, we're playoff bound. And what makes me so confident and so sure about this? Look at last year. He went to the finals with a lot less than what we've got on this team right now. And, you know, you gotta say this about Magic. Magic Johnson knows what he's doing. He knows what he wants to make this team into. He knows he wants to make this team the Lakers that we all know and love. And he knows exactly what he wants with this team. And without question, and they've said this on the news, and like I needed the news to really point this out, 4 years, he's 33 now. LeBron is finishing his NBA career as a Laker. And I couldn't feel happier and, in a way, almost honored in the fact that he chose this franchise to be where he closes his career. I mean, he's going to be 37 by the end of this deal. And most guys, usually, they walk away by that time. Especially when you're a guy like LeBron who probably has more mileage on him than anybody hit his age. I mean, look at how many times he's been to the finals. And not to mention, 4 of them were over the last 4 years. And also we added Lance Stevenson, which kind of find it funny that we signed the guy that was butting heads with LeBron at one point and even blew in his ear. I mean, this is going to get interesting, and I couldn't be more excited as a Laker fan myself. So, to the King, I say, welcome, and it is going to be a sweet, sweet sight to see you in purple and gold, and I'm just going to take a shot in the dark here I'm just going to call my shot here that the LeBron Laker jerseys are going to sell like crazy. That they're just going to go out like wildfire. But I honestly could not be happier that LeBron James is coming to LA. And to Paul George, I say, ha ha. Enjoy OKC, and enjoy being in Carmelo Anthony and Russell Westbrook's shadow. Because really, if you're cool with being second fiddle to them, be my guest. Now look, I get it. it's a business, and a lot of times business decisions that are made are not exactly popular ones. But here's where I have the issue with Paul George, and how over a year ago he was saying he wanted to play for LA, and now he had the chance to do so, and he didn't back it up. It's just my own personal philosophy. Don't say anything you can't back up, and that's my beef with him. I mean, I get that it's a business, but just don't expect me to like it or think that it sucks. And this is not going to be like Chris Paul with the whole LeBron thing, because well, one, David Stern's not around, thank God. But LeBron's a free agent. There's nothing the NBA can do about this. Their hands are tied. They can't screw us out of this one like they screwed us out of Chris Paul that one year. Which to this day I still hate David Stern for it. Now, other stuff that I've got going on, because I wasn't able to do a show last week, so I apologize about that. But I did see Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. You know, I didn't hate it. I mean, I was entertained, but, you know, and I know that they said they're going to work on another one, but I would be okay if they didn't do another Jurassic World movie. I mean, how many more of these stories can you really do? And I find it funny how much of a favorite that the Velociraptor, known as Blue, has just become a favorite with people. And that was one thing I did get a kick out of watching that movie. I liked watching the video with Owen, played by Chris Pratt, and the video of him with the baby raptors, which I thought was just one hell of a thing. But, and to anybody that, well, everybody that complained about the last Jurassic World saying, why is Bryce Dallas Howard running around in high heels in this movie? She wore boots in this movie, so shut up. So drop that topic already, because I know that it took a long time for people to just stop bickering and moaning about that. But, you know, I mean, it was an alright movie. I'm just not really anxious for another Jurassic World movie. I mean, they impressed me with Jurassic World, which wasn't that hard considering Jurassic Park 3 and The Lost World. Yeah, I know I kind of went out of order on that one, but those two ones did suck. So there wasn't a very high bar to reach with when Jurassic World came out. And I would talk about what came out this past weekend in the movies, but frankly, nothing came out this weekend. Absolutely nothing. I mean, given we've had a lot of blockbusters come out, so kind of needed a little bit of a breather. But really, you couldn't at least give something to come out? But anyway, I mean, so I'm not saying avoid the movie. If you're not in a rush to see the movie, my best advice would be see it if you've got some time to kill, and if you've seen everything else. Because by now, I think we've pretty much seen everything else. I mean, luckily we have Ant-Man and the Wasp coming out this weekend, so I'll be seeing that on Thursday. So even though I'm off this week, I'll have another show next week, and I'll be talking about what I think with that one. And, you know, I'll just say really quickly, I mean, Ant-Man was not my favorite of the Marvel movies, not by a long shot, but I do have to say that I did find it entertaining. I mean, there was humor in it, there was heart, and anybody that thought Paul Rudd's not the kind of guy I would expect in a superhero movie, maybe not, but he does pull off the character rather well, and if there's anybody that I could picture that could do a better job than Paul Rudd did as Ant-Man, I'll be damned if I know who it is. But the biggest thing I'm anxious to see is how they tie in what happened in Infinity War with this movie. Because this is the last Marvel movie that we have that's tied in with that universe until next year when Captain Marvel comes out. And of course, we got Comic-Con coming up this week or this month, and supposedly the trailer that's been talked about on the internet of Aquaman. Word is that the trailer will be released at Comic-Con. And regarding those Marvel movies, I'm curious to see what else takes place at Comic-Con. But real quick before we get into anything else, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back right after this.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Brian H. Waters, host of The Wrestling Realm, and you are getting the raw, unfiltered opinion of Sean Williams. Now back to Variety Bites.
Thank you to Brian H. Waters, host of Break It Down, which is featured on Podbean, and of course on YouTube, and of course make sure you check out his show as well as The Wrestling Realm with him and Dwayne Allen, both good friends of mine and both just the best wrestling, some of the best wrestling talk that you'll find anywhere else. And okay, and one other thing that I can tell you about for this, that I wanted to talk about on this show, I did watch season 2 of Luke Cage on Netflix. I gotta tell you, I like this season a hell of a lot better than I liked season 1. It wasn't slow, a lot of action in it. I like the character of Bushmaster, and I did like how well, here's the thing. I've never had a problem with Mike Coulter as Luke Cage. I thought he was spot on, just the perfect guy to play the character. But I like the cameos with or the episodes with Colleen Wing and also Danny Rand, aka Iron Fist, making an appearance. There are some people that think that this series might have been better if you had Iron Fist and Luke Cage in one series instead of each one having its own series. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. Although, I gotta say, for Finn Jones, he's definitely grown on me as Iron Fist. It was just the show that I wasn't too overly fond of. But I will say that it's gotten better. I mean, he's gotten better with the character. Then again, part of the problem I had with Iron Fist was just the choreography on that show was just it felt kind of choppy. But I mean, no, I don't know when season 2 of that's going to start up, but I did find out news about Marvel's Jessica Jones that there will be an episode in season 3 that Kristen Ritter herself is actually directing, which I think that's a pretty big deal. I mean, she's done tremendous with that character, and I'm anxious to see how she does at directing an episode of that show, which is definitely one of my favorites. I mean, in the list with Daredevil and The Punisher. And one thing I do like that they've done with Jessica Jones and with Luke Cage, well, I think there was more of a mention in Luke Cage than there was in Jessica Jones about with the Defenders, is nobody has seen Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, since the events of the Defenders. So it's kind of interesting to see how they're coping with the aftermath of that. So I find that interesting, and it definitely makes me more and more anxious to see whenever they release season 3 of Daredevil. And I still stand by what I said with season 3 of Daredevil. They better have Bullseye in that one. I mean, how can you go this... I mean, you've already gotten away with... Well, season 1 you had the Kingpin, so that was not a big deal, but season 2, you could have thrown him in. You could have thrown in Bullseye. But season 3, you absolutely have no excuse. You need to have Bullseye in that series. Even if it's just for one season, because there's never been a deadlier enemy for Daredevil than Bullseye. And yeah, I know, we only have, in terms of from the comic book to the screen, the only comparison, the only thing we had to rely on was Colin Farrell playing Bullseye, but I don't know, in some strange way I think I think I actually enjoyed his performance as Bullseye in that movie. Then again, I think I'm a little biased because he did use in his fight with Elektra, he did use an actual line from the comic where he said, "You're good, baby, I'll give you that. But me, I'm magic." So, kind of surprised that they used an actual comic book line, but it works for the best. But yeah, overall, I was very impressed with how they did season 2 of Luke Cage. I liked how they did pay tribute to Reg E. Cathy. God rest his soul, we did lose him this year. And didn't realize that was I think that may have been his last performance before he passed away. So I was impressed with that. And he did a good job as Luke Cage's father. So if you haven't seen that, I definitely recommend checking that out. I finally got around to watching the remake of the movie It. It's definitely got the creepiness factor, and there's a scene with the garage that really was yeesh. But I gotta give credit to the guy playing Pennywise. He does a good job of looking demented and creepy as hell. And I'm anxious to see how they do the Chapter 2 version with the kids now as adults. I know Jessica Chastain and James McAvoy are two of the people they cast for that movie, which, solid casting on that one, I'll give them that. And also they cast, let's see, I believe Bill Hader and Jay Ryan, which, if I recall, it's the same Jay Ryan of Beauty and the Beast, the series, which I haven't seen him in anything since then. But I'm curious to see how that all pans out. I mean, I thought they did an exceptional job with this one, so be interesting to see what they do with this one. But yeah, if you're into that genre, into the horror movie genre, then I definitely would recommend it. Yeah, I realized there was kind of a pun there where I said recommend it, and it being the title, but trust me, that wasn't intentional. And got some movies coming out this week on digital for those that are collectors like me, for getting the movie on digital instead of buying the DVD Blu-ray. So for those, I mean, I'm just going off of iTunes for this one, but Ready Player One comes out this week, which I thought was a tremendous movie. I think if you're a huge fan for pop culture, you'll definitely feel right at home watching this movie, because there's so many pop culture references in this one, and I remember thinking for Spielberg, okay, Spielberg, you did a good one. I can finally forgive you for the BFG the previous year. Super Troopers 2 also comes out on digital this week, which, of course, I'll be getting that one because, well, I've been a fan of Broken Lizard. I've liked just about everything they've done, and I've been wanting a sequel for Super Troopers for forever. So the fact that they finally made one, I was satisfied with what I got. And when I was talking about it, for those that are fans of the horror genre, the movie Truth or Dare comes out this week on digital, which features Lucy Hale and Tyler Posey of Teen Wolf fame, just to name two people that are in that. So if you like that movie, that comes out this week. Never got around to seeing it. I just remember the commercials creeped me out with how everybody started to get this like demented Joker grin and saying truth or dare. I'm like, good lord, that's just demented. So those are a couple movies that are coming out on digital this week. I'm still waiting for them to announce when Deadpool 2 and Avengers Infinity War will be coming out on digital. And of course, last thing I want to talk about, of course, with 4th of July, was how I think everybody has like certain movies that they tend to watch on 4th of July. Of course, the first one that I think people would probably gravitate towards would be the movie Independence Day. Which, yeah, I still do that. Just don't expect me to jump for the sequel, which was just blech. I mean, I get that Will Smith, for whatever reason, didn't want to do that movie, but the way you write him off on that, it's like, seriously? And also, how is it we can have advanced weaponry and still these aliens find a way to kick our asses? Because that's exactly the impression I got with this movie. It's like, okay, we advanced our weaponry and our technology so that we could take on these guys. They come back and still find a way to beat the living tar out of us. So, that's probably, I mean, like I said, if you watch the first one, fine, but if you want my opinion, avoid the second one, that Resurgence at all cost. I know most people probably watch war movies on 4th of July, which, I mean, I can understand that. Everyone, I've been talked on this show already about about favorite war movies. The typical ones like Saving Private Ryan or Platoon or Full Metal Jacket. Those are pretty much the only ones that really come to mind. But, and, this is probably a loose reference in this loosely because there is a reference of 4th of July at one point in this, but probably The Sandlot. They do have one scene where the kids are playing on 4th of July when the fireworks are going on, and it's at night so they can actually see because of the fireworks. But, yeah, those are some movie recommendations, and I'm sure that there's probably a lot of people that'll be on their iPod or phone or whatever, that one song that I think, well, it's definitely going to be something I'll play at least once during this week, is the Star Spangled Banner done by Jimi Hendrix. And I'm pretty sure Kiss did one also, which I gotta check out. But yeah, those are some recommendations I can give for 4th of July. Figured I'd throw that out for you guys with the holiday week and everything. Anyway, I know it's kind of a shorter show this week, so I'm gonna wrap things up tonight. I want to thank you again for listening. No show this week for either the Shark Attack or for Variety Bites, but we'll be back next week, and we'll have more, and of course I'll be talking about Ant-Man and Wasp and how I liked that one, and any other topics in sports that are, I might as well mention, since I'm a Kings fan also, Drew Doughty signing an 8-year deal, which couldn't be happier about that one. I'm always happy when one of the Kings stays put, so great news for the LA Kings. So more power to them. Hopefully we'll see the Kings really come out strong this season. And of course, it'd be nice to be excited for both the Kings and the Lakers this season. I'm already stoked as it is about the Lakers, so we'll see what happens with that. But in any case, like I said, wrapping things up tonight, I want to thank you again for listening, and we'll be back next week. This has been Variety Bites. I am Sean Williams, and people, I'm out of here. Good night now, and enjoy the 4th of July.
From the side bay to the valley, from the west side to the east side, everybody very happy, 'cause the sun is shining all the time. It's like another perfect day.